The Nairobi Securities Exchange has suffered a lot over the last 1 year. This month, NASI, NSE and NSE 25 declined by 3.6, 2.3 and 2.9 respectively. Today we have the man himself, Geoffrey Odundo, the CEO for NSE. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
And if you can tell me, what triggered this performance?
We started the year very well. We closed the year at 3,711 points on our NSE 20 share index, and we then closed June at 3,285. But what happened during that period, we had a very good performance of the market, where our market actually appreciated on the equity side by 32% and on the bond side by 30%. So what resulted was a good performance of the exchange, where we did a net profit of 76%. So that was a good side of the year. Now, we then began the second half, and a lot of I would call factors influenced the performance of the market. First of all, there was emerging market challenges where investors had, especially international investors, were reallocating their capital to developed markets because of the rising interest rates in those markets. There were also certain devaluation of certain emerging market currencies around Turkey and Argentina, which again led to that review of their allocation criteria. So that in fact impacted on us externally. Locally, we had policy issues that we had to deal with. We had the whole tax debate around Robin Hood tax, which was supposed to affect transactions. We had the whole VAT, the whole excise duty charges, and that whole period of public discourse on what the impact of taxes would be made investors a bit nervous, and hence the domestic investors were also shying off the market.
What strategy will you put in place to actually ensure that investors come back to trade at the NSE or to invest?
So we are trying to maintain our investor engagement strategy. We have got 3 pools of investors that we talk to. We talk to international investors, so we are talking to them to basically just highlight the opportunities that are available in the market, providing incentives to encourage international investors. We are traveling and doing roadshows in other markets. Just recently we were in China trying to interest the Chinese market into Kenya. We also went to London on the Kenya Capital Markets Day, just to say that for international investors, we are open for business and the opportunities are good. On the domestic front, we also deal with institutional investors. So these are fund managers, insurance companies, and collective investment schemes, and also high net worth individuals. So we also engage this particular pool. We do a lot of one-on-ones, call programs, and we do a lot of work through our brokers, basically providing all information that our brokers need to engage their clients.
And apart from SportPesa, who else is mulling to have an IPO?
I'm not sure whether SportPesa are considering, because I've not seen a formal application here. We have a number of companies that are interested in coming to the market. I know we've had a long season of no IPOs coming through, but now we are really focusing on different programs to encourage IPOs. I just want to mention about one key program that we are now about to launch, which is called the Incubator Board. Now we are creating an incubator board where companies who are currently formally in business, SMEs, mid-sized companies, and even large corporates can be hosted on the exchange and can be visible on our platform. What do I mean by that? Now, for you to be visible on the NSE platform today, you must be a listed company. So you must comply with the CMA requirements. You must make a formal application to be admitted. There are a whole host of other listing requirements that you must adhere to. And that, for a very new company, can pose a bit of what we call a bit of a challenge. So we are saying companies can actually be hosted on the exchange, where we give you an opportunity for your company to be visible on our platform. So once you're visible on the platform, we take you through a journey of educating you about the market and more the capacity building side. And once you're ready, you then move to what you call an accelerator board. When you're at the accelerator board, you then talk to transaction advisors who then prepare you to become a company that can either raise money through debt or through shares.
Speaking of the government, yeah, About the 26 companies that the government has listed, is it going to be a game changer for the NSE to privatize those 26 companies?
Certainly. In fact, I would like to take you back in history. Between 2006 and 2008, the government listed a number of their state-owned enterprises. Examples include Kenya Power, KenGen. We also had Safaricom, which was previously as part of Telcom. Now, these companies were big issues. They did big issues, so they did big IPOs. And what that did, it attracted a number of Kenyans to the market. Especially, remember Safaricom, where we had close to 2 million applications or 2 million CDS accounts opened. That catalyzed or created interest. So on the back of the government's listings, we also had very many private sector listings that came through, because people now, the confidence in the market was uplifted. So we are delighted that the government is looking at privatizing and making privatizing through the market as one of their options. We see some very good companies there that we are engaging and have been engaging in the past, and we believe this will really provide a good catalyst to encourage other issuers to come to the market.
It has emerged that NSE investors have been losing close to 86 billion in state-controlled firms. How are you planning to navigate that?
Well, I'd like to say that if you look at the valuation losses and that have taken place, I think these are not real actual losses, because you only actualize your loss when you sell. So you'll consistently see the valuation of companies affecting your portfolios. So I could buy a stock at, say, 30 shillings and tomorrow it's 20 shillings. I've actually incurred a paper loss, right? If I sell, then I actualize that. So my advice to investors is that you can do two things. You can either, if you're currently in what you call a loss position, a valuation loss position, you can hold on to your stock and sell when the price recovers. Alternatively, you can dilute your cost by buying more shares at a cheaper price. So if you bought shares at 30 and they're at 20, you can add more stock at 20 to dilute your holding cost, and that narrows then your exposure from a valuation perspective. Yeah.
And speaking of companies, how are the big 10 performing, and how are you planning to excite the market?
Well, I think the top 10 companies in the exchange are performing extremely well. One of the things that I must appreciate, and maybe just for the general public, is that the fundamentals of the Kenyan economy are very strong. If you look at the sectors in which these companies are operating in, they're all growing. Kenya is projected to grow at 6%. The key drivers of these sectors are the very leading sectors in our country: telecom, manufacturing, banking services, tourism. And we have companies that are listed which are participating in these sectors. So as long as those sectors are growing, it then trickles down to the actual companies. So we are very much engaged with the various policymakers in the various sectors. So we talk to government, various ministries, on how we can incentivize more investors to participate in the sector, how they can provide incentives to allow the sectors to grow faster.
Outlook for NSE?
Outlook for NSE, I would say we expect to see a number of IPOs coming into the market. This year, for instance, we are waiting to have the first cross-listing from Rwanda, the Bank of Kigali. That means that our scope is not restricted to Kenya. We are looking at beyond. We are the bright spot in East Africa, and so we want to remain an attractive market for the region. So we are working on a number of initiatives. We are focusing on our new products. We want to make sure that there's a better uptake of those products. We launched the ETF and the REITs in the last 2 years. We believe that it's about education, and once we educate the public, that those products should take off well. We will be launching our derivatives market in the coming year, and that again we believe will also provide better prospects for investors to take up opportunities. There's a lot of information of how to buy shares. And one thing I like about Kenyans is that we believe in wealth creation, and so this is a great opportunity for you to make money.
Thank you very much for that insight about wealth creation. I hope you've created a lot of money now. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.